Good morning, everybody. We've made it to Sunday of the 50th convention of the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee. And for those of us who are on time, even if we're not in the seat yet, I would love to get a door prize for Miss Shannon.
The first door prize is 2 tumblers from the volunteer chapter, and it goes to Nathan Atkins.
Nathan had to go home last night. He did. And he's underage, so I don't know if we want to give him one just yet.
Gabriella Hall.
She's underage as well.
They're not that.
They're just like
No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. Is it Gabby in the room? No.
Gabriella Hall.
Okay. The next name is Harold McGee.
Harold McGee. He came up again, did he? All right. Did he get here this time? Oh, somebody's going to miss some cash. That's a wonderful thing because it might come my way. Keep on drawing.
Bill Archie. Don't think he's here.
Bill Archie.
Bill Archie.
I don't hear anybody.
Nope.
Is anybody here?
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't your here.
Jean Freeman.
No, she was one of our vendors. She's not here. Yeah.
Micah Zivit.
There she is. Malika.
Oh, sorry, Malika.
She's here. All righty. So we have had an eventful convention, and now we get to make up some speed from what we left off yesterday. So we will start with our invocation, and Miss Deborah Carter, if you'll come forward and give the invocation, or if I can go to her, that might be quicker.
I'm here.
Oh, she's bringing a mic to you.
Okay.
Dear God, we give you praise and thank you for this day that you've given unto us. We thank you for the work that has been accomplished here and what is yet to come. We pray that you will give us all safe travel and that the lives that we touch will be made better because of what you have allowed us to do here. We pray, oh God, that you will continue to be glorified by the work of the National Federation of the Blind, that each chapter will be blessed and grow, and that the work will continue as you allow us, work in us and through us to live the lives we want. And everyone said, amen.
Amen. All righty, as my mic travels back to me. All right, good job, everybody. So first up, again, we are making up sometimes. So if, is Michelle Quinn in the room yet?
I am.
All right, we're going to get it started early this morning. And Michelle Quinn is the coordinator for our Bell Academy program in Clarksville. She has been doing it, I think, now for 3 years, has grown that program really well over at Austin Peay State University. And we're going to kick the morning off with a little bit of fun and talking about the Bell Academy. And perhaps while she's talking, she can get you up on a fit break because y'all look a little tired this morning like I feel.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Maybe we can give them some green if they get in the audience. Yeah.
And I can tell you on behalf of every teacher that I know, we are so happy that it falls on a Sunday and not during the week, especially middle school teachers. We are especially happy.
You mean your kids have problems with pinching?
That or proving that their underwear is green or not green. So yes. So any one of those. This is my second year at a state convention. I was able to go to the national convention this past summer. Very much enjoyed that. Was able to teach 2 Bell classes there. So much fun. Oh my gosh, the kids were amazing. I want to tell you a little bit about our Bell program in Clarksville. I'm a special ed teacher for 25 years now in Clarksville, Montgomery County. I have two amazing vision teachers that are on the team with me together. We have grown our program, done a lot of exciting things. I know Christina talked about some of the things we did last year. We wanted to not only, when I say this, yes, we absolutely do the mobility skills. We do the intro to Braille skills, and we have some students who are upper level, and we work with them. But one of the things we wanted to do is provide them the opportunity to come together with other students, other kids that are their age that have the same disability. So many times these kids are at a school by themselves and nobody else has it. And sometimes that can be a very lonely place when you have no one to, I always like to say vent to, because being visually impaired myself sometimes is quite annoying. And there's things that you go through that other people can't quite understand. And so they're able to come together and see someone maybe a little older than they are for our younger kids and be able to have that example and have that mentor. I would probably start out being voluntold, but luckily my husband and my youngest daughter, who's also visually impaired, now come and they don't have to be voluntold. They're like, okay, what are we going to do next? Some of the activities that we wanted to do, we were able to bring in the fire department. A lot of times we might see the fire truck go by or hear it go by, but we have no idea of the size that it is. So our program is at Austin Peay State University. The firemen brought the fire truck there. They got to talk to them. We had a fire safety course. I've been asked if the fire department was coming back this year, more so I think from our female volunteers, because I think they really like the firemen instead of the fire truck, but so yes, we will probably have them back. Exactly. My husband's in the audience, so I don't care. So, I enjoy the fire truck. So anyways, another thing, we have a lot of people, volunteers in the county. We have a gentleman for the school system that has a farm. And so we were able to take the kids there, and they were able to pet the cows and see their size and pet the horses and brush the horses and have some actual hands-on experience. One of the things we also did was we have found that a lot of our kids don't have those executive functioning skills, those daily living skills. Middle school in general, teaching, a lot of times they don't. But when you add a visual impairment on top of that, you have a whole nother set of skills that they're lacking. And many times parents aren't sure exactly how to teach them to do it. And many times it's just easier to do it for them. I can remember my first year when I was volunteering, I had two young girls, and I said, okay, ladies, are you packed? Are you ready for your parents to come tomorrow? And they said, no, my mom's going to do it in the morning. And I said, oh, no. So one of the things we did this past year is we had volunteers. As soon as parents brought the kids in, they picked up a child. Parents went into our conference room. Volunteers took the kids down to the room. They made their bed. They unpacked their items so they knew exactly where they were. Then they came and got mom and dad, saying, hey, here's my room. This is what we're doing. This is where I'm staying. So that'll be another thing that we'll do this year. We had a situation with a young boy. We went to go eat in Austin Peay's cafeteria to give them the idea of that. 9 years old, he did not have a clue how to cut his meat. Everything was by his fingers, and so we showed him, and excuse me, he worked at it, and it was difficult. And I remember walking past him and said, Austin, how are you doing? And he, Lord, you would have thought, and I think it was meatloaf. He said, oh, well, I'm getting there. This is really hard, but I'm going to do it. So, skills sometimes that we take for granted that they don't have. So those are one of the many things that we work on. I can tell you, it doesn't just have an impact on the students, it has an impact on the parents. We had, when it was time to pick up last year, and the parents came and kids were introducing, this is my friend, and then that started a conversation between the parents, because many times these parents are isolated. They don't have the opportunity to come together and talk and worry with other parents. We were able to have another get together in October, and I was able to see parents come back together and be excited and talk to each other. So it is so much more that we're doing with Bell. If you can tell, it's very passionate for me as an educator and teaching students to be their own advocate. I know growing up visually impaired, that is not an easy thing to do. And I have found surprisingly, it's even more emotional when I had to stand up and be an advocate for my children. So I'm able to look at it from both sides. We have quite an impact on our volunteers, and we'll share this. There's already a teacher shortage in the United States. There's a definite teacher shortage in special education department. We had a gentleman that was in the education program. We had sent out some of our volunteer packets through there. He came to volunteered the whole week. In fact, he stayed in the dorms with us on the floor with the boys. And we would tease him. He was wonderful. So, oh, by the end of the week, we're going to get you to change your major special ed. I guarantee so. No, because he was going to be history, high school history. By the end of the week, he wanted to get a special ed endorsement. I got an email from him about 2 months ago asking about the Bell program. And yes, he wants to volunteer again and stay. And he also asked me for a letter of recommendation because now he's going to get his certification as a vision teacher. So, which is also a shortage. So it's not just an impact on the kids and their parents. It's also the volunteers that we have. And we're so lucky to have volunteers that we have and have them come back. And, we want to leave with the kids that, yes, you have a vision problem, you have a disability, it's annoying, but it does not define you. It's a part of you. It does not define you. And that you are able to go on and through NFB and the support that we get and is available to them, then they can absolutely go on and live the life that they want to. So thank you for supporting Bell. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day. Yeah, 11. Oh, can I just say too, I just found out I knew last night that small world, I know Mr. Ruffalo's brother.
My condolences.
So up next, we are replacing the wonderful speech that James Brown had prepared called Why I Am a Federationist. And he has offered to do a rain check next convention. So I have part of my convention agenda done for next year. But instead, to follow up the Bell Academy report, he's going to teach you about why Braille is beautiful.
Good morning. Good morning. Holy cow, that was loud.
That's still a live mic.
So I'm going to teach you a song. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to sing it first, and then you guys are going to come in. All right, I'll let you know. Here we go. Na 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 na. 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 This is my part. Go on and live your life. Don't need a bit of sight. In the end, you'll find Braille is beautiful. Put your fingers on the page. Tell your friends it's all the rage. It's all gonna be okay, cause Braille is beautiful. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Braille is beautiful. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Cause Louis Braille was his name. The slave and stylist was his game. They tried to stop him, but we adopted the code that paved the way. Go on and live your life. Don't need a bit of sight. In the end, you'll find Braille is beautiful. Put your fingers on the page. Tell your friends it's all the rage. It's all gonna be okay. Braille is beautiful. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. is beautiful. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Braille is beautiful. That's what we're teaching the kids, right?
That was awesome.
I had that actually queued up.
And that's morning time. Yeah, you got your So I did hear from our door prize mistress, Miss Shannon Hanson, that we have an excessive amount of door prizes. So while I announced that we're going to do a door prize, but I am also wanting to support the efforts of our Great Host chapter, that of the volunteer chapter, and they wanted me to let you know, just in case you don't have enough energy this morning, they are selling donuts in the far left corner. If you are,
Ask them to give
if you're
me a shout.
behind, yeah, if you're behind, like I am, the podium, it's in your far left corner. Miss Natalie and Miss Debbie, would you shout out?
Hello, back here.
So it's glazed donuts, and they're selling them $5. You can't beat that. That's better than Krispy Kreme anytime, or Dunkin's. And they are using that to help defray the cost of the hospitality suite. So venture back to Miss
Wait
Debbie
a
and Miss
minute,
Natalie.
really?
Get some donuts and share them with your friends. Yes. All righty. So next up, I think we're back on track. Thank you there, James Brown. We are going to go into the business of the day, are we not? Okay. So first up, we are going to do Melissa. Come on up. We're going to talk about money. We're always talking about money in this organization, aren't we?
Money, 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 money.
Yes. There you go. Money, money, money. There you go. I mean, she could sing that song. She was doing such a good job. Money, money, money. Everybody wants to know about money, right?
Yeah, money, money, money.
Anybody want to give more money?
No.
We'll take it. Are you sure? I'm waiting.
Right now.
Are you sure? There's not a lot in here this morning. I think everybody slept in this morning. All right. National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee Annual Report. Beginning balance was $11,250.74. Total deposits was $15,852.69. Total disbursements was $16,656.73. Ending balance was $10,446.70. The affiliate action account beginning balance was $17,022. I did. Oh, I did affiliate action. Oh, sorry, the scholarship fund. Sorry, that's the scholarship fund. $17,022.21. Total revenues was $0. Total disbursements was $2,000. Ending balance was $15,022.21. That is my report. All right.
Motion to accept.
We have a motion to accept, and we have it by James Brown, seconded by John Harris.
Yes.
All righty, all those in favor of accepting the financial report, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All righty, that passes. So what we're going to do next is the audit committee report. The audit committee was chaired by Josh Harper, and the purpose of our audit committee is to audit the book, make sure that you didn't cook them and she's living large off your money, which we know, of course, after this report, what she's doing. Since she didn't head for the hills, I guess everything might have came out okay. So here's Josh Harper to give you the findings of our audit committee report.
Good morning. This is gonna be fun. Sound guys up here, not behind the board.
That's going to sound great.
Alrighty, so to the members of the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee, we audited the accompanying statement of financial position of the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee for the 2018 year, and the related statements and activities, financial expenses, and cash flows for the year then ended. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on these financial statements based on our examination. We conducted our examination in accordance with generally accepted practices. Those procedures require that we perform the examination to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatements. An audit includes evidence supporting the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. An audit also includes assessing the accounting principles used and significantly estimates made by management, as well as evaluating the overall financial statement presentations. We believe that our examination provides a reasonable basis for our opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee as of March 17th, 2019, and the results of its operations and changes in net assets for the year then ended are in conformity with the general accepted accounting principles. Revenues received and expenses paid are tracked and recorded appropriately. That is my report.
So basically what that means in English, thank you, Josh, is that Melissa has done well in tracking our records per our Constitution. She has a written form signed by me that says what money she should write a check for, and that all the checks that were written were for those amounts with receipts in tow. Right, Melissa?
Yes.
Yes. All right. That's the layman's version of it. I can't do all the fancy stuff either. All righty. So can I get a motion to accept the audit committee's report? Second. We have multiple motions and multiple seconds to accept the audit committee report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that audit report is done. Thank you very much. I don't know if did you mention who served on the committee with you?
No. So the members were myself, Miss Shannon Hanson, and Curtis Tillman.
Thank you. Got to give credit where credit's due. So if my committee chairs will start making their way to the podium, we have our legislative director's report, and that is going to be, once again, our own James Brown. He is the best, and he's the first.
But in the meantime,
door prize, exactly.
Okay.
Got to give him away, can't take him
That
home.
might make you the best.
I hope you win.
That's Shannon.
We have a $25 gift certificate to PF Chang.
Oh,
What?
PF Chang.
I'll take that.
We have 4 tactile charms from Custom Canes. And we have a dish towel and some chocolates.
Whoa.
That's a lot of. It is. We got to get through it. All right. Christy Odell.
Oh, she was here.
Christy O'Donnell.
Christy Odell, going once?
Going twice?
Twice?
We just go one.
Roxana Lewis.
Roxana, is she in the room? Scholarship winner.
Roxana Lewis. She partied too late.
Oh,
That's only go one.
they got the money, that's what it was.
Had the money right. Nah.
Erica Porter.
She didn't make it.
James Brown.
I feel nice, like sugar and spice. I feel nice, like sugar and spice. Hey, don't turn me down over there. So good, so good. I got you. That's all. You know, there's a door back here for those of you that haven't been up to the front. And if you lean back like you're leaning on the wall, you might keep going, like into the kitchen or something. So I am the legislative committee chair and done a lot of legislative work over the years.
What, Josh? I'm talking to myself. Go.
Okay, I think we're dealing with some sound things. But we're going to be doing a lot of things, I hope, over this next year. One thing, we're going to have a board meeting in a couple of weeks. I'm going to ask the board to approve a legislative pizza party for the first chapter who gets all of their representatives on our issues. And so that will be hopefully pretty cool. And it'll be a way for us chapters to compete with each other, because I know Nashville is going to beat the mess out of Memphis. Okay, so if you want to prove me wrong, you got to get to work, right? Yeah, that's right. And so we're going to do that. You heard a lot about our legislative issues yesterday. We're trying to make all the appliance accessible because, everything's going to touchscreen. We want to be able to use appliances in the future because it's good to wash dishes, wash our clothes, all those things. So we're doing that kind of thing. We're also working on a piece of legislation that will give us a tax credit back for any technology that we buy. So tax credit means basically if you went and put $1,000 Braille note, if there is really such a thing, I think we're getting close, on your credit card right around tax time, you could turn around and file your taxes the next week and get $1,000 credit back for that. So actually you wouldn't be paying anything for it. And because technology is so expensive, we need that kind of thing, right? Because we can't depend on voc rehab like we heard yesterday.
Yeah.
At least not yet. So we're going to work on that. It's most likely we're going to work on a few things. We'll work, on a state level. Right now, the Tennessee School for the Blind, you're going to hear about a resolution coming up earlier. The School for the Deaf is starting to almost take over the Tennessee School for the Blind, and has that potential. And, we've seen a lot, some people that are, well known to our organization like Jessica Beecham. She sees the School for the Deaf in Colorado that's combined with the School for the Blind. And because the deaf students outnumber the blind students are like secondhand citizens in their own school. They get the old gym, they get the old cafeteria. Any part of the facility, they're left over because the deaf students have more money because they just outnumber them. And so we want to try and prevent that from happening to our school. Judy told us yesterday that the Tennessee School for the Blind has been around since 1844. The state hasn't been around much longer than that, okay? So historical, great school, we need to protect it. I actually heard that on Tuesday, Senator Jernigan is moving to the floor a bill, well, not to the floor, but to the committee floor, Education Committee in the House, that will go ahead and separate the two schools and make sure that they aren't joined together. So anybody who wants to come up to that committee meeting, we'd love to have you there. It's at 4:00. It's at Cordell Hall, which a lot of you are familiar with. So
What day?
Tuesday, 4:00. Have any questions, just ask me, call me. Just about everybody's got my phone number. So this Tuesday, right. Yeah. So we're going to do that. So we're going to protect the Tennessee School for the Blind. As you heard yesterday as well, it's written in state law that we are to have a director of blind services who can propagate policies and procedures for the division. So it's supposed to be a separate division, and we're supposed to have a director who can actually make decisions, okay? We'd have our own budget. None of those things exist right now. But we're going to go to the state legislators and say, would you write a resolution that, Department of Human Services actually abide by the law? Or we could also do an attorney general opinion, which we're not sure which direction we're going to go yet. I'll be talking to my Senator Yarborough over the next week, try to figure out what we're doing there. Ability One is kind of a harder subject. I won't tell you guys.
Tell us what.
Well, no. Well, see, so Congressman Rowe, who's been a real ally of the National Federation of the Blind, he's a congressman up in East Tennessee. He actually was a sponsor of the TEACH Act. You guys know what that is. Technology, education, accessibility. in college and higher education. So a huge ally, but he also has Industries for the Blind there in his district in Morristown. So when we took this new Ability One program to him, I actually, told Courtney, let's not talk to him about this issue because it could rearrange some of, his constituents, and he's not going to want to hear that. And so there was a little mistake, a little miscommunication. Gabe Cazares, who's a great guy, actually came to the meeting and tried to get Congressman Rowe to sign on, and was met with quite a bit of opposition. So it's a little bit my fear that we might have kind of messed up, maybe who's our greatest ally in Congress here in the state of Tennessee. But we're going to work to try and fix that. And it's partially my fault because I was off skiing down mountains and stuff while they were in Washington D.C. But that's okay. I had fun. I came back with all my teeth too. And so that's the kind of stuff we're working on. Does anyone have any questions? Just maybe one or two. All right, Christina.
All right. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Is that a dog or a human? I'm not sure which.
That tastes good.
Excuse me.
Seconds without the calories.
Madam Door Prize Mistress. And Josh, you're next up on the so I'm glad you got that out.
All right, we have one Bible, one flash drive, chocolates, and an eye mask. And that is going to Craig McFarland.
Oh, that's gonna look great on you, Craig. All righty, so coming up next is one of our other awesome committees, I do believe. It is our website and media relations committee, headed up by Josh Harper. He will try not to get too technical on you, I'm sure, and make his report as brief as possible. So here's Josh.
Good morning again. So, I'm going to ask to make this brief. So,
I told him I was supposed to give you a better direction.
National gave us a theme to use. So our website used to look just like theirs until they updated it. So until we get direction on theming and stuff that they would like us to use at National, we're still going to use the same theme that we are using now. And so how many of you guys pre-registered on the website? Say aye. So that was made possible by a plugin called FormStack. So it allowed us to easily get your information and take it right on over to PayPal and let you be able to pay. And it let us keep track of who paid and who hadn't paid. We implemented that. We are live streaming right now. And so
Hello out there.
to do that, we had to get a new modem because our modem had gotten kind of old and they had changed SIM cards for us. So yay. But yeah, we just been trying to keep everything up to date and current with all the theming and branding.
You want members?
Oh, yeah. I'm getting there. And so
You look like a show.
I've been awake too long, okay? So I do need members because the board was me, Steve, Tyler Butler, and Joy, and Jimmy was on there for a while. So those were our members. So that wasn't a lot of members, really. And website and social media is a big thing that's hard to do. We need members to help so that our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and things can have pictures and videos and things on there, or YouTube and things.
I have pictures. No.
Sorry, Miss President over here is doing hand gestures. I'm like, what?
I'm not.
New York, forget about it. Forget about it.
You talking to me? I call that
You can tell chapters that they get up there.
Okay, guys. Also, the other thing that I need info is from our chapter president. Are y'all in the house tonight or today?
Oh, there's not.
Whoa.
There's me.
Where's the chapter president? Wow.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I need money, so the hay.
Our representatives, let your chapters know that there are a few chapters on the website that have no information. Okay? So please let me know what information you would like up there. Also, during our leadership seminar that we did in October, we rolled out Google Drive. All state presidents have access to a Google Drive that has chapter logos and stuff that we did with the new theme, the new logos and things. And if you have any issues accessing, let me know and we'll walk through it again. Okay? Any questions? Hearing none?
Right. Good job. Alrighty, so we have had our committee report, most of our committee reports. We also have fundraising committee. Is Sharon in that room? Sharon went home. Well, I'll do her report. You've heard most of it, which was basically please help us sell tickets and support our Rocky Top raffle. We have an anonymous benefactor who is putting up the $2,500 that we're raffling off. And if we don't make it, he's ensuring that we won't lose any money, but he would rather not pay that out of his own pocket. So it's our job to sell as many tickets as possible because that money goes to support our programs here in the affiliate, like getting people to convention or helping to fund our Bell Academies. And again, we'd like to thank you guys, whoever participated in the Showcase of Talent and last night through your MIC pledges. And for those of you who are new, what is a MIC pledge? Let's see who's been doing their, what is a MIC pledge, Malika?
A MIC pledge is, you pay at the end of the year.
You pay at the end of the year. You can pay at the end of the year. We love it in by December. Or you can, as y'all did last night, you can have cash in hand or pay by credit card, PayPal. We take all forms of money, cash donations, as long as they're legal in the United States of America. All right. But MIC actually stands for Member Individualized Contribution. And also don't forget your PAC pledges. PAC pledges. And I heard somebody trying to get the floor.
You're good.
Oh, okay.
You're
Sorry.
good.
Josh, again, I tell you, that's them sound people. All right. So that is, and then he cut me off. So fundraising. So we will continue to fundraise within the affiliate, and we would love your help to get that out to businesses and companies. I have a member in my chapter. Every year he travels to Indiana and he brings back money from his eye doctor. So, you know, we all have businesses that we patron, whether it's our eye doctors, whether it's where we get our glasses or where we get different things, where we get our Starbucks coffee. If they know you and know that you're a confident, blind, successful individual who lives the lives they want, tell them about the Federation and the great things that you've done. Because that's not an I, because there's, remember me. So I was getting my metaphors mixed up. So it's about you, which helps us. All righty. So next up was membership, which was myself, and I will make mine very brief. We are currently distributing coins to the chapter presidents or their delegates who are in this room currently. Those presidents who have not gotten, hopefully you will be venturing up to do your president's report very briefly. And I will be getting coins distributed out that way. If I did not get your list, unfortunately, your members don't get their coins. If they were existing members, and we didn't get your name, you don't get a coin, so you need to talk to your chapter president. I think mostly everybody in this room that won't affect. As new members come in to chapters, because it's each one bring one, right? So as you each one bring one to your chapters and divisions, we will onboard those into this new database that we will have access to. And those individuals through the onboarding process will receive their coin in the mail.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
have you done a description of the coin? What it looks like?
I can definitely do that. Not as probably well as Jeannie Massey, but I will give it a shot. So, with a little bit of sighted help, maybe, because it's got a lot of little writing on there. Joe Ruffalo, can you describe that coin better than me, maybe?
Probably not, but I'll do it.
Okay.
It's a medallion. It has two sides, a front and a back. On one side, it says National Federation of the Blind, because that's who we are members with. And on the other side, I believe in Braille letters,
TGR.
TGR together, because we are in this together. The logo is on there, and I think that's what it is.
And I think on the back.
Hope I got it right.
On the back.
I have it buried in my case.
Okay, so yeah, there's member in the back right under it says together and it says member. So we will challenge everybody to hopefully have their coin in their pocket and we'll hear that sound, yes. So that was what we focused on membership, of course, in building our 4 areas that I mentioned last night: seniors, parents of blind children, our at-large group, our sports and rec divisions. Or our sports and rec groups. So definitely help us build those. If you've got an interest, we can help you find somewhere to slot into our organization. And I think that concludes all of our committee reports that I know of. You heard the scholarship committee. John Harris, do you have anything additional you would like to add?
Hold on, John, 2 seconds.
He's giving you a mic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I thought that, nothing except for, I thought that this year was a really, I think certainly the best one since I've been the chair, the scholarship of the group. It was a great group of people, and the only thing new is that Dr. Carter will become the chair, and will certainly improve things. We're doing that, I think, and then if you guys throughout the year, let people know what we do about in the chapters all over the state about a scholarship, and hopefully if we do that, might increase the money.
All right, thank you. No scholarship. So that has reached the conclusion of our now there them committee reports. Door prize, because we have too many still in front of me over here.
Drum roll, please.
I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
Is Marlowe white? Marlowe wine? Is it always white? Because it says white Marlowe, but I don't know if it's different than regular
Merlot.
Merlot. Listen, I don't drink wine.
Well, just you all you're responsible for, madam, is giving it away.
I'm just curious.
Giving it away.
All right, so we have a box of that. And we have another bag with chocolates and dish towels. So the first name is
Stephen Quinn.
Steve Quinn. Oh, somebody's really excited for that wine back there with them. Oh,
And you must be 21.
that goes back to that. Get your own damn blanket. Yes, exactly. Get the wine and drink it after the bell program.
Please, no drinking and driving.
All right. So up next, I don't see a lot of our chapter and division presidents, but I do see one standing here very so patiently. So our first chapter up is our Nashville chapter. Yes, and unfortunately, and we're glad that Jimmy is in Africa giving out canes to deserving individuals in Kenya, and we hope and wish him safe travels back to the United States. We have missed him. But you've had great representation by all your members, and here's his report. Ow, you hit me in the nose. Oh,
Girl,
Can't
I thought
take
you were
you
standing up,
anywhere.
but you're sitting down.
We like to do that, James.
I bring greetings. I bring greetings from Jimmy Bain, the chapter president of Nashville. I am the vice president. Jimmy, as you've heard, is in Kenya, giving out over 100 free canes to blind Kenyans who could never afford a cane. We've heard of the print famine or the reading famine that there is in the blind community, where there is a cane famine over there. And so here's part of his greetings. The other day he was at a college, and there was some spontaneous singing that erupted. Here we go. So these are some of the blind Kenyans that Nashville is reaching out to. So as you can see,
And I did study there before, and the translation was "Live the life you want."
All right.
all right. All right.
What was that? Sound like?
All right, so I'm doing this a little differently. My technology is all wacky because I'm trying to do two different things at one time. So there's been some great things obviously going on in Nashville. We raised over $5,000 in our fundraisers. Gosh, this is going well so far. So we had our Breathless Hot Chili Cook-Off at Tennessee School for the Blind. All kinds of participation. I think we raised about $3,000. Plus we're just getting out in the community and we're touching a lot of folks. Jimmy tells me that we have the largest chapter in the state now as far as membership goes. I don't know if that's totally correct. I think Memphis, I think we're right head to head. What do you think?
We are head to head. I saw the membership list.
Okay. So we're doing good there, having a lot of new members. Jimmy also broke a world's record with the longest agenda ever for a chapter. We did an event with the Ronald McDonald House. We took dinner to them, and for those of you who don't know what the Ronald McDonald House is, it's a family their child has had a significant medical experience that they're experiencing. We went there. We actually talked to one couple whose baby was very premature. And, they were worried because the baby was premature. They might go blind. They might have some other disabilities. And, I was able to tell them about all my friends who are awesome, who were premature. Josh Harper up here, many of you out there, and just give them hope. And they were truly touched by what we did. And so that was awesome. Right now, me and Jimmy are leading a support group at the Vanderbilt Eye Institute. And so we're getting to touch a lot of people that we normally wouldn't touch. So they're coming out of the Eye Institute, and we're getting to teach them that they can really live the lives they want. So one thing Jimmy always says at our chapter meetings is this thing called FAIL. Does anybody know what FAIL stands for?
I know.
Yes.
First attempt at learning.
That's right. First attempt at learning. So the idea is to never give up, right? So if you're going to fail, that's just your first attempt at learning. So eventually you're going to succeed. So that's what I have from the Nashville chapter, and I will pass it back to Christine.
All right, I am from TABM, no longer the president, Sharon Treadway, step back up.
She wasn't there the year before, so I stepped in. So, we are, am I on the mic now? Okay.
There you go.
So, this year, we did do a fundraiser. I still remember what we did. But, well, I have a check in hand for $250 for the affiliate. Oh, yes, we do have a resolution coming up, and Terry Smith will talk about that when he comes up.
All right. Going
Madam President, I have an announcement.
I was gonna say, does Nashville, we normally do, donations, so. does-
Hold on 2 seconds.
Bring you a mic, in other words.
Since my technology failed, my part of my presentation was a little disconjointed, and I left out some parts. So the Nashville chapter does have a check for $1,000 that we're going to present to the affiliate, but we're not giving it till national convention, so you'll have to wait. We've got a special plan.
Okay.
Trying to Photoshop my picture on the bill, so.
That was totally illegal.
Hey, I'm from New Jersey, come on.
Hey, I'm Byron Meader from the Scenic City chapter with Terry and Melissa. I think we had 5 of our members over here, maybe 6. We're donating $75 for my chapter. Small core group. We meet once a month, either in person every 3 months or by teleconference every other month. It's not in person. Trying to grow our group, trying to get some fundraising done this year, and chugging right along.
You're doing good.
Checking that out. Which chapter was that? That was Scenic City, Chattanooga. Oh,
Okay, hi guys.
hi. You get 2 for here.
Yeah, sorry, you guys have to deal with me twice. I'll be really quick. So first I'm gonna go ahead and report for Stones River, since our chapter president, Emily Nelson, didn't make it. We, of course, as you all know, are an ever-changing chapter, because we are primarily student-based. We have members who aren't students. But so what that means for us is that every couple of years, everything really takes a big shift. And this has been one of those years for us. Our leadership has shifted. And as did our members, we have, over half of our membership consists of new people now. So we are always working on fundraisers. I am holding that beat kickball equipment. The weather is warmer now, so we're going to be hopefully doing that as a fundraiser and to just raise awareness on campus. But I think the biggest thing that we have really got accomplished this year was the use of IRA for the campus.
Yes.
Is it an IRA zone or whatever it's called?
Explain that.
Yeah, I am. So right now they're still working on drawing up the contract. It's been approved. But what's going to happen is each department is going to put in X amount of time, or so money for minutes. So students will be able to check out that equipment and use it in those classes. Again, they're still working on the contract, but it'll be for student use on campus for academics. And that will, of course, be free to those students. So we have that done.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And again, we're just working on building membership and being more active in our community. Christina, Emily did not actually give me a report, so I will get back to you with the donation for sure.
All right.
All right, and then for the student division, we're the student division. We're small. We're always working on building our membership as well. It's really great. We had some our scholarship, winners here. Seemed very interested. I feel like we had a very productive meeting this year. One of the things we did was try to reach out to the chapters across the state, to get more membership. So we're always working on that. And Christine, I will give you that money
All
for
right.
to help the scholarship.
All right.
People attend convention.
One, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Look at the next one.
I unfortunately saved the best for last.
All right. Thank you. That's me.
Memphis had to
You
go.
will vary on that one, Christina. Anyway, this is Greg Self from the volunteer chapter. If you didn't already know who I was, now you do. We have 7 members, and for the most part, we have meetings every month, third Saturday in the month, or sometimes we do call-ins, and sometimes it's during the week when we get the kids to bed. But we have almost 100% participation.
Awesome.
And we're currently recruiting other members and currently trying to fundraise as well as things come up. We still have the donuts for sale, $5 a dozen. So make sure you buy a couple of dozen, take home.
Krispy Kreme?
Krispy Kreme.
No, Josh, they're called.
Are they green?
No, they're not green. Give them a couple more days, they might be. And we're also donating $25 to the delegate.
I don't think that's a good thing. I'll get to eat them if they turn green, just saying. But you can get green ones right now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Steve Norman. I'm the president of TAGDU, Tennessee Association of Guide Dog Users. So this year,
Wave around like you
Just don't care.
so this year we have been working on several things. We are working on getting information to police officers regarding access of guide dog teams to anywhere, because anywhere the public is allowed or permitted, guide dog teams are permitted to go as well. And many police officers don't know this. So we have developed what we call TAGDU law enforcement packet that we are trying to implement and take to the police officers. The way we're trying to get that done is we're trying to take it to the police academy. And so we've developed a committee. It's Jimmy Bain, Stephanie Zundell, and myself, and we are actively talking to the police, the guy over the police academy, and another officer. And so I think we're going to have that meeting in like this week or soon, like the next week. Also, we are developing an emergency fund. So if any teams have issues with their dogs, health issues, they can apply for monies from that fund. We have maybe 15 members and maybe 7 to 10 on each call. We have a call that meets every month on the third Monday of each month. And we have met just about every month except for maybe December. And it's very, very, very interesting. You should come if you are interested. We have guide dog schools on we have that's another thing we do. We have every year we have 2 guide dog schools, meet the guide dog schools calls. So all the guide dog schools, well, we reach out to all of them. Last year we had 9 guide dogs on the guide dog schools on the line. And that's really like phenomenal. What we're trying to do is collaborate with the schools and allow, the members to ask questions, and, it's really a fun time. And we are, our board has voted to give $75 to the chapter, to the affiliate, and we will do that through PayPal.
Great reports, great reports. And as a reminder, because I know that some people are checking out, we have a gray hoodie that was turned into us from one of our members. It says, I believe it says "Keep Calm" or something thereabouts. But Crystal, are you still here?
She's not.
No, okay. Miss Shannon, can you see this?
Hold on just a second.
I think it says "Keep Calm."
If it's an XL, it's mine, no.
All right, yes, it says, this is cute. It says keep calm, it's just a cane.
So it's definitely got to be one of our
that's
members.
awesome.
Nobody?
Oh, but it sounds cool.
It's cute.
And we also have somebody, I guess, decides to leave their clothes everywhere. We do have a shirt.
All right, and the shirt is, it looks like what, yeah. It's one of the shirts Knoxville was selling, and it's a blue, obviously they're all blue, I think. And I can't remember.
All
the size.
good.
But if you're missing a shirt,
Shannon, toss it to me.
Take the shirt off your back.
Yes, literally you took the shirt and didn't pay for it, so, or you wore it and just stripped it off. We don't know which, but they are up here at the front desk. I mean, the front table.
It's a size large.
It's a large, so you know what size you are. But
And your
if not,
dog's
we'll
surfing.
find a place for those to go.
She's a homecoming.
Alrighty, so I am Christina, of course, and I not only serve as your affiliate president, but also as the president of the Memphis chapter. And contrary to rumors, Nashville is not the largest chapter. I do believe we are running neck and neck, and it's always a friendly competition among the two larger chapters. And I know that my members will each one bring one. Yes. So we will hopefully.
Talk is cheap.
Yes, it is. And hot air makes the summer even hotter. Yes. So.
My neck's longer.
Oh, and mouth is bigger. All right. We've got some great rivalry going. I tell you. So Memphis is proud. This is our 50th birthday along with the affiliate's birthday. Yes. And as I mentioned in my presidential report, Memphis was founded in 1969 on the basis of equality, that anybody, regardless of race, could join our chapter. And that was a great way of being founded. We've had some great affiliate presidents come through our chapter. Mentioned earlier, we had Nellie Carney Hargrove, Lev Williams, Mike C., Thomas Franklin, and of course, then there's myself. Yes. So Memphis has produced some great leaders, and we have some great leaders in our chapter now that hopefully, as I decide that, as James did when I'm ready to sit out in the audience, like John Harris said, and to enjoy my convention again, I will pass that baton on to some of my chapter members potentially, or some of our scholarship winners we saw last night. We made it a concerted effort as a chapter to reach out to youth. And I think that was demonstrated by the number of individuals from the Memphis area who applied for scholarships. And we will continue to do that as well. And to bring the current scholarship winners into our chapter, hopefully. What we did last year. So, of course, we continue to build our membership. We continue to fundraise. We like to keep our monetary stuff secret. So we won't tell you how much we fundraised. But we did several fundraisers. We always do our own chapter MIC pledges. We also did our first ever Douglas C. Hall Step-a-thon. And for those of you who don't know, Douglas C. Hall was one of our members for many years. He served as an officer, and he lost his battle with diabetes, unfortunately, in the spring of 2018. And we reached out to his family because one of the things we want to do is we have a lot of people, not only in our chapter, but in the affiliate that are diabetic. And we know that movement can only make your life better. And so we created the Step-a-thon, and we had several of our members along with community partners come out. And the way it worked was for every step you made, we got, what was it, Dr. Carter? A penny for every step. So if they walked 5,000 steps, well, you owed us about, let me see, 10, there's $10 and 1,000. So you gave us $50, I believe, if I remember my math correctly. However, we also were really lenient and we also let you do it by the lap. Because while we realize that there are individuals who take steps, there are also blind individuals who use mobility devices to get around. And so we wanted to make sure that we were fully inclusive as much as possible. And we had one of our Bell participants, he's still little, but he's 7 years old now, Cameron, came out and he ran those laps and dragged some of us with him as we were flagging. And he helped us raise money for the Memphis chapter. So that was one of our fundraising initiatives. We plan to continue that again this year, I'm sorry. One of the other things that we are in the process of doing is, of course, holding our 50th White Cane banquet. That will be held Saturday, April the 6th at the Holiday Inn downtown, and we have a wonderful menu on board. The theme, get this, is going to be the 60s and 70s. So we're asking individuals, because we love our themes, to come dressed in their best 60s or 70s attire, a semi-formal attire. So we expect some awesome looking dudes and some great looking gals. It's April the 6th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Holiday Inn downtown. Tickets are $45, and all of that money, of course, stays within the Memphis chapter. And of course, we like to share that with the affiliate. We do have tickets. You can also buy them online as well. And they will be sold for the next 2 weeks. We've been doing it for a while. So we invite anybody to join us. Thank you, Josh, for all those sound effects, I tell you. Other than that, our chapter has been busy itself working on some local legislative issues like transportation. We spoke in front of the city council to demand that our riders have great quality transportation. And we will continue to to probably have that struggle and that discussion with them about making sure that if you are on a fixed route bus, that they're calling out stops, whether it's through the human or whether it's through the annunciator. We are continuing to partner with organizations like TASA and or TANABA to ensure that we bring sports and recreational activities to our community. One of the things we did last year in conjunction, because we were really working on youth, is we reached out to Colonial Vision Center that does a 1-month program for our visually impaired youth and our hearing impaired youth. And we did kickball with them. So you had about 30 visually impaired kids and 30 kids with hearing disabilities, and you had a lot of blind adults around. And so some of the hearing impaired kids, of course, would want to talk to us. And it was interesting how everybody finds a way, no matter what your disability is, to communicate. So we had a fun time. That was a collaboration between the Memphis chapter and then it was TANABA, Memphis. And that's something that we hope to continue again. We are also, of course, a great supporter of our Bell Academy, and I know that my members will not only volunteer their time, because they'd rather volunteer than be voluntold, right? Yeah. And we have several volunteers that don't have to be voluntold. And we will, of course, hopefully help with some of the expenses incurred in our Bell Academy, and we're great to have that back this year. And that is my report from the Memphis chapter. And what? The shirt is mine. Oh, the shirt. Okay, we found a claim of the shirt. Yes. Alrighty, so we have a request for door prizes before we move to the great part, which is resolutions. Madam, we need 2 at least.
Okay, we have 2 tumblers and a blue shirt and hat from Blind Ink, and the name is Tabitha Jackson.
Tabitha Jackson, did you make it to the? Oh. That money hasn't been given away yet. Keep on going.
We're going. Hold on. Jackson. Steve Norman.
All righty, one more door prize because I know you got a batch and it's 10:15 and we're getting close to the end of the agenda.
Okay. We have another $25 gift card as well as chocolates and a
Towel, dish, napkin, washer, don't know.
Randy Atkins.
Nope, he is not here. He went home last night.
Okay, moving on.
You know, James Brown looks like he does dishes.
Wendy Osteen.
She is not here as well. A vendor.
James Brown.
Come on, Crystal.
Even that dish, Brad.
Yes. So, wonderful donations for door prizes this year.
A gift card and some dish rags.
Yes. So one of the things that we do, the way we carry out business and the of course, the policies of the Federation is by passing resolutions. So one of the challenges that I give to each of the presidents and or the representatives over the next year, we want to build our resolution committee because it should not be a committee of two, because we have at least, according to our roles, 100 members. And two is not even 2%. Well, it is 2%, but
Hey, I'm still waiting on my door prize.
it's on its way. She's making sure you get it. So we want to make sure that each chapter at least has one person on that committee. That way next year, there won't just be 3 people in the room talking about resolutions. We want to make sure that it's a joint effort by this whole affiliate. It's not Terry's committee, it's our committee, right? It's what we want to do, right? Right. So in the we, that means it can't be just him. So here comes Terry with resolutions.
Well, typically, we don't appoint a resolutions committee. I think Christie wants to change that. We just have whoever shows up at the committee meeting, and yesterday there weren't a lot that showed up, so she may change that in the future. But we do take resolutions from different people. You know, what we always do is we take the issues that were at Washington seminar and the new issues that come up that year. We convert those into resolutions. So we have 2 of those. Then we have a resolution that was submitted by James Brown on the School for the Deaf. We have another resolution that we sort of resurrected from a few years ago about services to the blind. And then the merchants have a resolution to bring forward. So we have 5. This won't take long. I want to read through all 5 before we vote on any of them, if that's okay, so we can get through that. The first one I do not have in a print copy, so I'm going to do voiceover.
So sound, we might need technical assistance.
National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee. National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee Resolution 2019. 1A resolution in support of the Disability Employment
Can y'all hear it?
Whereas the Javits-Walker Day Act, JWOD, is a well-intentioned but obsolete law intended to provide employment for people with disabilities through specialized government contracts. And whereas the work experience provided by the Ability One program does not utilize or teach the skills required for today's fast-paced digital work environment. And whereas the Ability One program thrives on specialized contracts while at the same time paying employees with disabilities sub-minimum wages. And Ability One sheltered workshops create a segregated work environment that is antithetical to competitive integrated employment. And whereas the National Federation of the Blind has proposed the Disability Employment Act that will modernize an outdated system by unpronounceable ease of opportunities in the program that will enable employers with the necessary tools and support to integrate workers with disabilities, better integrating with the Randolph Chapter program, eliminating conflicts of interest and lack of accountability in the current program. Therefore, ITBIT resolved by the National Federation of the LBIND Tennessee gathered in convention in Knoxville, Tennessee on this the 16th day of March 2019, that the organization go on record in support of the Disability Employment Act and that the President send copies of this resolution to all members of Congress from Tennessee urging their support of the bill.
All right.
Okay, so that there are a couple of typos in there, which I will clean up. And Steve, I'll send all these to you electronically. That is resolution 2019-1. 2019-2 has to do with the second issue that we did. And this is a resolution in support of the greater accessibility and independence through non-visual access technology, or the GAIN Act. Whereas home use of medical devices home appliances and fitness equipment are becoming less and less accessible for blind Americans, and whereas non-visual access is achievable as demonstrated by a number of mainstream products such as Apple, whereas current disability laws are not able to keep up with advancements in technology, and whereas the National Federation of the Blind has proposed the greater accessibility and independence through non-visual access technology, or the GAIN Act, that calls on the Access Board to conduct a non-visual access standard review, establishes a minimum non-visual access standard for home use medical devices, home appliances, and fitness equipment, authorizes the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, to enforce the non-visual access standards for home use medical devices, and authorizes the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, to enforce the non-visual accessibility standards for home appliances and fitness equipment. Therefore, therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee, gathered in convention in Knoxville, Tennessee on this, the 17th day of March, 2019, that the organization go on record in support of the GAIN Act, and that the president send copies of this resolution to all members of Congress from Tennessee, urging their support of the bill. That's a different one. Okay, so that is 19-2. 19-2. 19-3 is a resolution related to Tennessee Services for Blind and Visually Impaired, whereas TCA, that's Tennessee Code Annotated, 74-4-604, established the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation of the Blind, and whereas the same statute established the position of Director of Vocational Rehabilitation of the Blind, and whereas the division is to be the only agency providing vocational rehabilitation services to blind Tennesseans, and whereas the director is responsible for promulgating regulations specific to services for the blind, and whereas the Department of Human Services is out of compliance with the law in that there is no Division of Vocational Rehabilitation of the Blind, and whereas the Department of Human Services is out of compliance with the law in that there is no Director of Vocational Rehabilitation of the Blind, and whereas the program for the blind and visually impaired continues to be buried deeper and deeper within the organizational structure, and whereas blind consumers are becoming increasingly dissatisfied with the level and quality of services being provided to persons who are blind or visually impaired, and whereas there is a proven correlation between organizational structure and quality services, therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee, gathered in convention in Knoxville, Tennessee on this, the 17th day of March, 2019, that the affiliate president and board of directors take whatever action necessary, including taking legal action to ensure that DHS complies with the law and establishes a division of rehabilitation of the blind. 2019-4 is a resolution regarding the preservation of the Tennessee School for the Blind. Whereas since 1844, the Tennessee School for the Blind has been a nationally recognized residential institution providing high-quality education to thousands of blind children in Tennessee. And whereas the Tennessee Department of Education has implemented a plan to place a newly created Tennessee School for the Deaf on the Tennessee School for the Blind campus in accordance with Tennessee Code Annotated 49-10-902, paren 2, paren B. And whereas this outdated law established in 1972 requires that there be a branch of the School for the Deaf in Davidson County in connection with the Tennessee School for the Blind, and whereas this statute has never been clarified, enforced, or acknowledged by the Tennessee Department of Education or the State Board of Education, And whereas the new School for the Deaf began accepting students for the 2018-19 school year, and there are currently approximately 8 deaf students enrolled in grades kindergarten through 2nd grade. And whereas the plan is to add an additional grade each school year until reaching the 6th grade, and whereas there was virtually no blind stakeholder input into the decision to place a school for the deaf on the campus of the Tennessee School for the Blind, and whereas the number of deaf students at the Tennessee School for the Blind is expected to increase to approximately 60 over the next 5 years, and whereas the deaf students already have access to a residential school in Knoxville and a second school for the deaf in Madison County that serves students who are deaf or hard of hearing exclusively.
Long resolution.
It is. And whereas placing a branch school in the Middleton in Tennessee will ultimately have a negative impact on enrollment at the Tennessee School for the Deaf in Knoxville. And whereas traditionally deaf students outnumber blind students 3-to-1, and history shows that a school for the deaf will consume a school for the blind and its resources when the schools are co-located on the same premises due to the sheer number of deaf students compared to blind students. And whereas as resources dedicated to the School for the Blind are diverted to the School for the Deaf, there is the potential that the quality of education being provided to blind children and the focus on specialized services will be eroded, which will negatively impact the quality of blind students the ability of blind students to grow into productive, independent adults who can live the lives they will want. And whereas the Tennessee School for the Blind must be protected for future generations of blind students, now therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee, gathered in a convention on this, the 17th day of March, 2019, that this organization strongly urge the Tennessee General Assembly to amend Tennessee Code annotated 49-10-902 and eliminate the requirements that a school for the deaf be placed at the Tennessee School for the Blind, and be it further resolved that the president of this organization and its board be authorized to take such other actions as necessary toward achieving the goal of this resolution. And 29-2019 should be 5. This is a resolution urging the Department of Human Services to comply with the law and assist the Committee of Blind Vendors in sponsoring a 2019 statewide managers meeting. Whereas the Department of Human Services, DHS, has been designated as a state licensing agency by the U.S. Department of Education to administer the Randolph-Shepard program in Tennessee. And whereas in Tennessee, this program is commonly referred to as the Tennessee Business Enterprise Program. And whereas 34 CFR 395.14B5 requires the Committee of Blind Vendors to sponsor manager conferences with the assistance of the SLA. And whereas in Tennessee, TBE fulfills this requirement with the annual statewide managers meeting, and whereas 1240-6-7.05 of the TBE rules and regulations require that there be an annual statewide managers meeting provided funds are available, and whereas the cost of the 2019 meeting would come out of the 2020 budget, and there is no reason to think that there are inadequate dollars available to support the conference, and whereas according to the RSA 15, TBE closed FY 2018 with a reserve of almost $4 million in the set aside and unassigned accounts. And whereas DHS each year turns back unspent federal dollars that could be used to fund the statewide managers meeting, whereas 34-395.14 requires that the Committee of Blind Vendors actively participate in all major administrative decisions. And whereas on January 26, 2019, TBE Director Gary Weaver unilaterally advised the committee that there would not be a statewide managers meeting in 2019, citing budgetary reasons. And whereas the decision shall result in DHS being in violation of federal law and its own rules and regulations, now therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind, gathered in convention in Knoxville, Tennessee on this, the 17th day of March, 2019, that the organization demand that DHS reverse this decision and abide by the law and provide financial assistance to sponsor a 2019 annual statewide managers meeting, and be it further resolved that NFB urge the members of the Committee of Blind Vendors to file grievances, both individually and collective as committee members, pursuant to 34 CFR 395.13, and that any other interested blind vendor do the same. Be it further resolved that National Federation of the Blind urge the committee that once the grievances are filed to seek emergency mediation from the U.S. Rehabilitation Services Administration, since this issue is time sensitive, and be it further resolved that the president immediately send a copy of this resolution to the commissioner and other DHS officials, and that the president be authorized to share copies of this resolution and make other contacts as necessary in support of this resolution. So there you go. Those are the 5 resolutions. First of all, I have to move for approval of the report from the nominating committee.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Did you get that?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to just take over here. All in favor of approving the resolutions committee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have to go through and vote on each one of these. The first one was the one about the Ability One issue and revamping Ability One. You want me to handle this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve resolutions? Do we have a motion?
First motion.
Jenna moves to approve. Who's second?
Malika.
Malika seconded. Is there any discussion on that one? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The second one has to do with the GAIN Act. Again, this was the second issue that was part of the Washington seminar. Is there a motion to approve 2019-2?
I motion to receive resolution for that, 2018-2.
Second.
Curtis, HK.
Curtis moved and HK seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. 2019-3 is the resolution related to services for the blind. Do I have a motion to accept that resolution?
Motion to approve.
Dr. Carter moved.
Melissa.
Melissa seconded. Okay. Any discussion about that one? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, 2019-4 is a resolution related to the School for the Deaf. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Sheila, HK.
Sheila and HK.
Sheila, what's Sheila's last name?
Hanson, H-A-N-S-E-N.
Okay, so any discussion on that one? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. And resolution 2019-5 is the one related to the Merchants Division about having the annual statewide managers meeting.
Second.
Okay, James Brown moved on. Christina seconded. Okay, any discussion about that? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we're good.
All righty, guys. Are y'all awake or sleeping on me? Do y'all want to do a prize?
Yeah.
I've been shaking. So I have some more tumblers. And that's gonna go to Michelle Quinn. All right, I have a $25 gift card to Outback. We all like to eat. Lynn Starks.
Lynn Starks. Nope, keep
Oh,
going.
going again. Harold McGee.
Okay, y'all keep drawing that name. Well, wait a minute now. Keep on drawing. He ain't here.
He's in the room with Lynn.
Gotta mix them up.
Oh,
They're
okay.
being not put up back in. Casey
Casey Owens.
Owens.
Is Casey Owens still in the room?
Casey Owens, are you in here?
Nope, he's not here.
Robert Christie.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Lordy.
They didn't want cash. That's all right. That means.
You can draw mine. Yeah.
Keep on drawing them out so we can have less
Yep,
people in there for the cash. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Judy Denny.
All right, Miss Judy, dear. All right. Got a couple more real quick, Mr. Door Prize Master.
Give me one second.
All right. You can double them up, yes.
All righty.
You can double some of them.
How about a gift card to Olive Garden for $25? A oven mat, a dish mat, and some chocolate.
Right.
This about to go on my dish rag.
Winner is Curtis Tillman.
Oh, there you go. All right. One more, Josh, and then. Nope. I think we were.
Okay, how about a hat and a shirt from Blind Ink?
All right.
It's a gorgeous color of blue.
It
It is a
is.
nice blue.
And it's in a large.
Tiger's blue. University of Memphis.
Represent all the way Tower too.
Lee Rogers.
Lee Rogers is gone. She was a vendor.
Randy Klein.
He was a vendor as well.
Okay.
We thank them.
Ronald Tucker.
Oh, Mr. Tucker, you're still here, hopefully.
Yep, he's here.
All right. All right. Very good. Very good. And are y'all ready for some cash?
Yeah!
Well, it's not time yet.
Just so you know, we have 2 door prizes.
It's not time yet. So we have a couple of real small items, and we hopefully will be out of here early. So one of the obligations under our Constitution is to appoint our delegates and alternate delegates to represent the National Federation of the Blind of Tennessee at our national convention per our Constitution. That convention will be held from July 7th through the 13th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it will be held at Mandalay Bay. Room rates are $99 a night. You can also now register online. Go to NFB.org and you can pre-register for a convention. I do believe convention pre-registration is $25 and banquet tickets are $70. If you register after they close that out, your price will increase by $5 each one, bringing it to a grand total of $110. So that being, it normally closes, I think, at the end of May, May 31st. So it's $10. You might want to save it because you might want to go to the buffet and get some king crab legs, or go down to the casino if you're over 21. And, or you might want to go through the exhibit hall, Independence Market, and buy you some stuff.
Or save $10 and buy one of your own raffle tickets.
Exactly, or buy some raffle tickets or some Jernigan raffle tickets. So, yes. All righty then. So do we have any motions or discussion?
Discussion, Madam President.
Okay, Miss Maddie?
Maddie Heath, Memphis, Tennessee, and, I would like to have in my possession, and I'm sure a lot of others would, a CD with the music to our theme song, Live the Life You Want.
All righty.
And we, maybe I can make a suggestion that we could make it a fundraiser, but I'd be glad to pay for the CD.
James Brown, am I remembering correctly that can be downloaded from iTunes, Rhythm of the Movement still?
Yes, Rhythm of the Movement is on Apple Music.
So if you go to Apple Music or iTunes store, you should be able to purchase that and download it, Miss Maddie. And Independence Market probably would have them as well. So we will try to, if you need help, just find me at work. And for the rest of you, just contact your chapter or division president. But good thought there. Any other discussion on who you would like, because this is your choice, to represent you? Tarte.
I move that our president, Christina Tiff, represents Tennessee for the national convention.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have that would be the delegate. We need an alternate delegate. Do you have a suggestion, Tara, since you've got a motion on the floor?
Madam President.
Willie Wells.
I motion that the alternate delegate is Terry Smith.
All right. Are you okay with that amendment, Tarte?
Yes, I am.
All right.
President.
And who made the second?
Oh,
No, it was who made the second on that motion? HK. All right, HK, you're okay with that amendment to the motion?
Yeah.
All right. So we have a motion by Tara Tate, properly seconded by HK Derryberry, to have myself serve as delegate and Terry Smith as alternate delegate in Las Vegas. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passes. All righty. So one of the last things we have on the agenda before I turn this mic off and we head our merry way is to talk about where we want to be in 2020. Yes, we're always looking forward to convention. So we are sad to see our 50th wrap up, but we're going to make it a strong year and hopefully grow our organization, because we're going to each one bring one, right. Okay, so in 2020, I expect to have more rooms in the hotel and a larger group, and we will make it work. So that being said, a couple of years ago, it was the resolution and request of then James Brown, passed by the membership, that in even numbered years, we meet in the middle part of the state. That is a great year, because in 2020, you re-elect a majority of your board, which includes all of your officers and 3 general director positions. So we want to make sure as many of you guys are in seats in Middle Tennessee. That being said, it is my recommendation and your decision. The Clarksville chapter is a growing chapter headed up by Miss Lorraine Watkins, who could unfortunately not be here today due to an emergency in her family. And we wish her and her family well as they deal with that. But she's been ably represented by Miss Betty Tucker and Michelle Quinn and Ronald Tucker. So she's sent a majority of her chapter here, and they are also coordinating our Bell program. We believe that we can have a great convention in Clarksville with a dual purpose of also helping that chapter grow. And the room rates look like they should be a little bit cheaper, hopefully, than what we found previously in the Nashville area. Yes, so they are volunteering to do that. And we love volunteering instead of voluntolding, right? Yes. So do we have any discussion? Comment, James Brown. Wait for your mic.
From my discovery back last year, there's a microphone in front of my face. From my discovery
Didn't
last
see that
year,
coming, did you?
I think there's only one hotel in Clarksville that would support our needs as a convention, and so that's the Hilton Garden Inn. Is there any other contrary evidence to that?
Malika?
Uh-huh.
We just had a new one built.
There's several new ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and they'll support the restaurants and
Yes.
things like that?
Yes, right at exit 4 where you have, multiple fast food and sit-down restaurants within walking distance.
So, okay, so I'll make a motion that based on,
Oh, you were. Say that again, James, I'm sorry.
so based on the condition that there are available hotels that will work, we will go on and have our convention in 2020 in Clarksville, Tennessee.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. I think that was by Crystal Brown.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jana. Woo. I tried to marry him off to another woman. I don't hear Crystal disagreeing though. So we have a motion.
He said, get his own blanket.
Exactly. So we have a motion by James Brown, seconded by Jana Jackson, that the 2020, upon that there are the right hotels needed to support our convention, be hosted by the Clarksville chapter. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passes. And I will definitely be working with the Clarksville team, along with other representatives that we appoint to the Convention Planning Committee to get that going. We have reached the end of my agenda. Thank God we've reached the end of my agenda. Yes. All righty, we have some door prizes. I do need that container because I think it's time to give away some money. Yes. So he's going to let me do that at the very end. So I'm going to let him do more door prizes.
So we have, is Teresa Williams here? All righty. Where you at, Teresa?
I hear.
All righty. You're gonna get some of our nice, lovely tumblers.
As long you can drink whatever you drink in them, as long as you don't snore on the way home.
Awesome. Rosalind Lee here.
Rosalind Lee, are you still here? No, she had to head home.
Joe Parks.
Joe Parks? No Joe Parks. Here you go.
Maddie Eaton.
All right, Miss Maddie, I know she's here.
Stand right up. You're gonna get a dish bag of chocolate.
All right, so an opportunity for somebody to get chocolate and dishes done.
Okay, so I have an announcement to make really quickly. The Nashville van will be leaving back towards Nashville at 12:30, so make sure to be right outside these front doors. We don't want anybody left. We will not be here. Crystal and I will be gone. So it's your responsibility to make it out to the front.
Well said. So any stragglers, I hope you enjoy your stay. Unfortunately, we will not guarantee your room rate at this hotel.
If you need a ride, we'll come back here in 2 years.
Hold on.
4 years.
Might be on the other side of the state.
That's right.
Yes.
Give us 1 second. We're going to shake up.
Miss Melissa, you got that door prize ready?
I've got it.
Okay. No, I just dropped it. You drove it. I get to do this one. No, I'm doing it.
How much cash?
Can I say my college free?
Yes, you can keep on, keep shaking. So we're gonna have Joe Ruffalo keep talking while I keep shaking.
Oh, wow.
Shaking, shaking good.
Sounds good. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your hospitality. As I said before, traveling around the country, being your national rep, gives me a great opportunity to see how things are run in different states. And this state's in good stead because of the membership. You guys deserve a good round of applause for your members. We heard the word fund, F-U-N-D raiser. What in New Jersey we call it, that's right. It has to be a fund raiser, and the D will come. That's the dollars. So you have to make it fun to raise the money. But let me just say this to you. I've done this before. Let me see if it's here. This is called a tribute to someone else. We were recently saddened to learn about the passing of one of our most valuable members, someone else. Someone was with us for many, many years, and for many years, someone did many of the jobs that the affiliate chapter division needed. Anytime there was a job to do, everyone just turned to someone else. Whenever there was a financial need, we all had the same name, someone else. Now that someone else is gone, who is going to do all those things that someone else did? Hopefully it's you, and you. We need our members to stay involved, get involved. So don't wait for someone else. Don't wait to be voluntold. Step up and volunteer. And thank you very much. Judy and I thank you for your hospitality, your gifts, your warmth. And we will be here until Thursday in the Knoxville area. My son-in-law is the bank. They're going to be relocating to this area. He does do eBay. He's a good eBay guy. And I already talked to the chapter here in Knoxville that they can do a pilot program. My son, once he gets settled in, will help the chapter set up an eBay account. And you can make some good money from eBay. And then you can expand it to another chapter. Before you know, it could be a statewide project. So there you go. And I get 10% now. But thank you for being who you are. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll see you in Las Vegas, right?
Drum roll, please, on this last try.
Hey, how you doing?
What's
it doing?
What's it doing? All right, here's a Dave, nicely shaken and stirred. She really shook that thing. I haven't watched her.
And this is for the cash. Oh, the cash door prize.
Oh, it's me, right?
No, I know she's here.
Miss Ruth Hemphill.
I really appreciate it, and thank you very much, but as an employee of the Secretary of State, I'm not allowed to accept it. So I did, your choice, I'll give it back to the organization, or you can draw again. To them.
What about the kids? What about the kids, y'all? Draw again.
Oh, let's vote. Bell program or put it back in?
Yeah.
Let's vote.
Okay, guys. Hold on. No, let's do it right.
Come on.
Let's do it
You want
right.
to do a roll call vote on this?
No, listen, guys. If you want to donate it to the Bell Academy on the count of 3, let's say aye. 1. Disqualified. You didn't listen. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Aye.
If you want to draw again, say aye on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The draw again have it, unfortunately.
Screw those kids.
We have that streaming live that James Brown through the All right, here we go. Yeah, everybody listen, here we go. Second time around, let's see who it is.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so.
Ruth Sager.
Oh, she left.
Nope. I don't hear her.
Dang.
Drawing again.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
HK. Who wants to know the amount?
Yes, yes, yes. Now,
The amount is $300.
all right. All right, so as we close out, I'd like to thank the full and active participation of all of our members in this convention. Yes, you have done well. We've done well. Yes, and this is a lot of hard work done by the Knoxville chapter. So please give them, I'm sorry, the volunteer chapter. Let's give them another hand. All right. So as we'd like to wish everybody safe travels to whichever part of the state you shall be returning to, and that once again we see you in 2020. As you remember, please check out of your hotel rooms. Those of you who need to be on the national vehicle, please be there at 12:30. And I look forward to seeing you again. And the national, this is adjourned.
Hallelujah.
Christine.